if you're happy, he's talking about it. If you're not, fine. 2016, skin cancer.
Yep.
That whole process, you miss a whole season.
Yep.
Which, I mean, brutal. You peak your powers.
Yep.
So what's that like to go through?
You can't explain it in terms of for any person to go through. But 15, I had the cut on the lip, and then 16, I was out with a PCL Rico for the start of the year, and then almost got back to get playing in May, and then had my second follow-up scan that had so the 4 tumours were about the size of a thumbnail, and there was 2 on each lung. So
is that spread from melanoma? Is that what happens?
Yep. So I'd had didn't have radiation, and I was given, once I'd had my lip cut out and all the different checks, I'd had lymph nodes cut out and whatnot. Nothing had spread. Didn't need radiation. Didn't need chemo. You're all good. So I played the back half of 15. I train up until Christmas. I get married in January, and then do all rehab. Think I'm going to play in a couple of weeks' time because it's Louis' 250th, and then just everything gets thrown on its head from there.
Do you think is it like mortality? Thoughts?
No.
Right.
No. If you ask my wife, she looked at Google, and that's the worst thing you can do.
I can imagine your wife and your family, and mum and dad, and whatever.
But no. So initially, footy instincts take over. It's a footy injury. How long have I got? You got 18 months. All right, cool. Let's go. So if I've got 18 months, it means I've still got another year after that on a contract, so I'm still right to play there. If I'm back in a little bit of time, I can get this amount of games. And so you just click into rehab mode. But this is a different type of rehab. You're going into a hospital. You're going to get a treatment. There's only 2 people on in the hospital at the time because it was a trial. In a sense, you're a bit of a guinea pig because no one else is on it. No one else is experiencing it. The other person was 70 plus. So I'm 29. So you're going through all these different side effects too. You're basically ringing the doc and the nurse every day saying, this has changed, that's changed. Right. I was like, the treatments were 3 weeks apart. So I had a gap in between the first 2 where I went to America to the 16 NBA finals and got game 5 and 7,
nice.
Which was like bucket list. That's number 1. That's always wanted to do that. So we're there for that Kyrie shot against the Warriors. So wow. I got that on film, which was pretty sick.
Wow.
And then came back, and literally after the second treatment, I was in a hole. And then the third one, and then it took me 3 weeks to get right. Third one, hole again. And that's when they said, right, your body's full of the drug, so we're going to try and turn it back on itself. And yeah, I was, it's weird. You know the pred that you take as a player 5 days?
Yes.
That dose is 5 days at 50 or something. I was on like 200 to start for to try and get myself back to feeling normal. Because I'd walk laps at Waverley in the cold in a singlet and a shorts, and people are like, what are you doing? I was like, I just need to feel like I'm alive because you're just in a hole. So
yeah, when you say in a hole, like what does that mean?
I couldn't walk. Like I had, so the final side effect for me was pins and needles and frostbite in my feet. So I couldn't put shoes on. I couldn't walk from here to my car, like out the front of where you guys are now. I didn't have energy, and they'd say, just take Panadol. I was like, just take Panadol? Like,
can't walk.
Yeah, I can't move. I'm sweating at night. I got down to about 91. I played at 101, 102. So I had no energy and nothing. It was just, you're just flat. Yeah. So, and because I said, as before, you're on a trial, so they don't really know. Well, they do, but they don't.
They're sort of waiting to see what happens.
Correct.
A bit.
Yeah.
Hoping, like they think they know what's going to happen, but hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
So you get through that.
Yeah.
And then you be captain of the club.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Oh, no. Yeah.
I just know how
you go from worrying about yourself because you have to, because there's no other choice with this, to then being captain, and as a captain, you got to put yourself behind everyone.
Last.
So you got to do a complete 180 of your view of how you treat people, how you talk to people, how you look at everything. And I didn't get that anywhere near right, like, because you're just transitioning from obviously what it was like. Because the last time I played was the 15 granny, and the next one I played is at the start of 17.
Yeah.
Louis gone, Mitch is gone, Hodgie's there, Hilly's gone. So it's just different. And I'm still trying to think it's back to then and being able to talk to blokes, and it just, you never got it right. Just maybe because you were holding on to maybe what was there and not being yourself because you had a little C next to your name.
How often were you around the club in the time of rehab?
As much as I could have been, because that was the only place I was going through a rent at home. So Sarah and I were living in a.
So you were showering at the club, weren't you?
We had no kitchen sink, so we're doing dishes in the shower. So,
oh my gosh.
I was there as much as I could have been. So interstate trips, the club would take me and stuff like that, just because that was as normal as I could feel in terms of just being around people that treated me normal.
So does that sort of lead to captaincy, you think? Like just your presence around the club at that time?
Nah, definitely not. Nah. I think for me, it was my safe place, really. It was the only place I could go without what I felt was like prying eyes. Oh, there's that bloke there's that footy player with cancer, or there's that, So you're a poster boy for something you don't want to be a poster boy for. But at the same time, you give hope and strength to others as well. So you still have to put in perspective a little bit. So the captain side of things, maybe Izzy was a pretty good candidate. So was Liam Shields. It wasn't as if that was just thrust upon me. There was still a vote to go through, and I was still they were doing background checks, asking Sarah, doctors, is it going to cause stress on him and all this kind of stuff. So it wasn't as if, yep, you're the man. So they did their homework.
It doesn't sound like, you sound like you're being harsh on yourself. Do you think the captaincy was a good thing, realistically?
Don't know.
For your footy?
Probably. I don't know. We didn't. It wasn't successful. I've still got a 50% winning rate as captain. But was I the best of me? Probably not. Nah. So I probably wasn't good at times to be around. And then you're going through a whole different stuff. And then Sarah gets pregnant, so then that gets thrown on its head.
Yeah. So. Then you're in real strife.
Yeah. So, and that's not to blame her. Definitely not.
Oh,
because
absolutely not.
that's the best time of your life being a dad. But yeah, I probably changed as a person a little bit because you were captain.